Parliament has remained in a state of pandemonium, in a state of chaos. Nothing new in our country. Whenever there have been parliament sessions over the last few years, for sure, we've seen more logjam than work. But this time around, there is a new subject, Gautam Adani. With me, well-known journalist, former politician, Ashutosh, who's a great friend of squirrels.in and keeps a close eye and has very strong views on how Indian democracy should really function. So, Ashutosh, let me straight away put you on the hot seat, so to say. Parliament in a state of complete lockdown because Rahul Gandhi and sections of the opposition, particularly sections of the Congress party, want an investigation against Gautam Adani. Why should a private individual, no matter what is the status of that private individual, why should a private individual end up being the subject of the biggest political discourse of the principal opposition party?
See, Bhupen, you have there are the two angles to the story. One angle to the story is that does opposition have a right to disrupt the parliament? I think it is their right to disrupt the parliament if they want to make their voice heard and if they want to send a message across to the government and to the people at large. I think this is their constitutional duty, this is their democratic duty, and they should not be blamed for this or accused for something doing wrong. But the second question, the second angle to the story is that whether a private individual should be a matter of debate and discussion in Indian democracy. I do not see that Gautam Adani might be, or Adani Group might be technically a private individual, a private citizen, but his presence and his group's presence has an overbearing impact on the Indian polity and society. So if something goes wrong, I'm not saying that he has done something wrong or his group has something wrong. If there are a serious allegation and a serious accusation against him, then it has to be discussed because that is what is required for the health of India's democracy and India's polity. Look at what has happened. You are a journalist, an eminent journalist for almost for more than 2.5 decades. The story which has emanated from the New York, which says that there is an arrest warrant against the Gautam Adani. There are the two cases against him. One, pursued by the Department of Justice of America. Second, pursued by SEC, that is Security and Exchange Commission of USA. And both of them are the prestigious institutions in America and carry a lot of weight. And there is an investigation by them. And if indictment has happened after the grand jury has passed and confirmed it, that means the case against Adani Group is a very, very serious case. And what is more funny and the curious part of it is that 5 state governments of this country and 1 government of India corporation is involved. So the crime has happened on Indian soil. Somehow Adani's name is there. So it has to be investigated, it has to be discussed and debated in the parliament.
Here's my point. But here's my point. Here's my point, Ashutosh. Look at the contradictions in what you yourself are pointing out. Has an Indian court or an Indian investigating agency said anything so far against Gautam Adani? No. There have been multiple complaints which have been made against him. When the SEBI question came up, when Madhuri Books question came up, it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. We saw what was the position which was taken up by the Supreme Court. Here is an American court. An American court puts out what it says is an indictment. In US laws, an indictment is like filing a PIL in our courts. It's not an indictment per se. It's an allegation which is being leveled. Noted legal luminaries in the country have pointed out that Gautam Adani himself, amongst those 5 counts, his individual name does not figure as a bribe giver or a bribe taker in those principal 5 counts. Why should Rahul Gandhi then remain obsessed with Gautam Adani?
Bhupen, let me ask a counter question. Do you think that arrest warrant issued against Gautam Adani for offering or offered 2029 crores to Indian government officials, is it not a big story?
No, but I'm only basing myself on facts. There is an allegation. There is an allegation and then there is evidence. If you look at the 5 counts of so-called indictment, which everyone in India seems to have gotten completely swayed by, both Mukul Rohtagi, Mahesh Jethmalani, and a whole slew of lawyers have gone on record to say that where is the evidence? It's an allegation. I can level any allegation against you, but is it backed by evidence? Is there any evidence in any Indian court?
These are eminent lawyers. Lawyers can fight for anybody's. I do not know whether they are paid or not, but I do not believe what the lawyers are saying for the simple reason because they can go to because every case has a two sets of lawyers.
Sure.
One who supports and who opposes. So the lawyer is always there to build a case, and that is their job. I'm not blaming them. I'm not accusing them of any wrongdoing. That is their job. The point number one, and the point number one, which is very, very important, that let's not forget it. There's only one company involved into this, Adani Greens. There is another company which is called Azure. And in Azure indictment, there is a name of Gautam Adani and his company. And both the cases are interlinked with each other. This whole case is opened because Azure happens to be an American company listed in New York Exchange. And that is where the SEC comes into the picture. SEC has got the complaint, and within that complaint, they realize that the American investor or the American citizen might be duped of a wrongdoing. And that is why Adani's group came into the picture. Otherwise, there was no reason for the American court or the SEC to jump into this story.
But again, I'm pointing out, Ashutosh,
let me complete. These
are allegations, sir. It's not a chart sheet, mind you.
Bhupen,
these are allegations.
Bhupen, let me complete.
Yes.
I think we are missing the big picture. You are saying it's a PIL. No, it's not a PIL. You are saying it's a chart sheet. No, it's not a chart sheet.
Then what is it?
According to the American judicial system, the complaint was made to the SEC. SEC got it investigated by the police and the FBI. Once enough evidences were collected after 2 years of inquiry, then those evidences were put before the 23-member grand jury. System is the grand jury in private and in secrecy has vetted these evidences, and they have realized that there are enough evidences to pursue the case. So the matter was given to the court. Now, matter has gone to the court. That means in Indian system, if there is a complaint, there will be investigation. Then the police will file a charge sheet. Charge sheet itself is not very important. But once the charge sheet is discussed in the court of law, and the court prima facie believes that there are enough charges on the basis of which the case can be pursued. So like the charges framed in Indian court is equivalent to indictment in the court there. So now the formal court hearing will proceed, and finally the court will decide whether the allegations has got enough evidences to prosecute him or not, or to prove him guilty or not.
You see,
Bhupen, just hold.
Yes.
My quarrel with these lawyers are that by their logic, every case which is coming to the court are only evidences.
No, I can agree with you, Ashutosh. If you were saying that you are unwilling to believe, let's say Mahesh Jethmalani, who happens to be a Rajya Sabha member, I'm with you. But there is Mukul Rohtgi. There is a whole slew of lawyers. There are US lawyers. In Economic Times, there's a leading economic thinker, leading judicial thinker of the US, who's also going on to say that the US courts are. It's a misreading, misinterpreting of what the courts are trying to say. Be that as it may, let's take it forward now on the political lens. Look at Parliament. Do you think this obsession with Rahul Gandhi, which Rahul Gandhi has with Gautam Adani, is it not subject to the law of diminishing returns? He's been crying out hoarse right since the time of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh elections, assembly elections. Look at what has happened. In Lok Sabha, well, Rahul Gandhi did certainly score, no doubt. But subsequently, in Maharashtra, where Uddhav Thackeray, Rahul Gandhi, everybody said there's a big scam in Dharavi and whatnot. Look at what's happened in Maharashtra. So why should we not say that Rahul Gandhi is barking up the wrong tree by leading this charge against Gautam Adani?
Bhupen, I know I might be in trouble.
No,
but I should say this because I know that you have provoked me enough. So I should be provoked, and I should be saying something which I should not be saying, but I will say this.
Please do.
Gautam Adani is a very resourceful person. Once upon a time, he was the richest person in the world. And today, he is the second richest person in the country. He's so powerful that he can gather enough people to defend his case, to hold press conferences, to pronounce him that he's not guilty. And the whole case is rubbish. He got that might. He's also been supported by the political establishment in the country, which is ruling at the point. So he's not an ordinary person. He's not like an ordinary person
and
like
the
me.
opposition, but the Congress itself is supporting Gautam Adani as well.
Bhupin, let me complete. Yes. So what different lawyers and what different voices are saying, I don't give a damn to this. For me, the most important thing is that Mr. Adani believes, and these lawyers believes, and these political thinkers and philosophers believe that Adani is innocent. Then let there be an honest investigation, because serious charges are leveled against him. And if there are honest investigation, time-bound investigation happens, and if no evidence is found against him, I will be the happiest person for this purpose only. Because a case against India's leading industrialist, with all kinds of investment coming to this country, will write a black chapter in Indian economy, and Indian businessmen and industrialists will be painted as manipulators, giving bribes. This all can go away if an honest investigation happens and it is proved beyond doubt that he's not involved.
But here's my point. But Ashutosh, here's my point. I'm only looking.
But why no investigation is happening in this country?
So here's my point. If I was to go by what Rahul Gandhi wants, that let there be an investigation against Gautam Adani, don't you think the most obvious step for Rahul Gandhi to do would have been to ask his Telangana chief minister not to do any business with Gautam Adani? There I'm seeing Gautam Adani's son, Karan Adani, having breakfast with him. At the time when Pawan Khera and Supriya Shrinet and all are doing press conferences here, Rahul Gandhi is attacking Gautam Adani in parliament. And look at what's happening in Telangana. KTR is accusing the Congress of being hand in glove with Gautam Adani. So why, if Rahul Gandhi is serious, and if we were to look at his moves as a serious move, why should he not snap off business ties with the Adani enterprise?
Bhupen, I'm not a spokesperson of the Congress party. And I'm not here to defend. I'm not here to defend Congress party.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is, if by this logic, what you are saying, that if an FIR is lodged against any industrialist in the country, and serious allegations are lodged against any industrialist in this country, then every contract which has been done with that gentleman or the industry should be scrapped.
If that industrialist happens to be someone like Gautam Adani, and if
forget about it,
he's so successful, the entire session of parliament is being wasted. Why should this question not be raised? Let Rahul Gandhi take it to conclusion, I'm saying.
Bhupen, the march of law is a very strange path. The issue here is, we have to pinpoint the issue. What is the fundamental issue? The fundamental issue is that India's leading industrialist, he is facing the charges of bribing and getting the contracts done in 5 states. That's a charge. It has to be investigated. The issue is Congress government in Telangana, other Rajasthan government, earlier government in Ashok Gehlot's government in Rajasthan, and other places wherever the Congress has indulged, was there or is there any complaint of wrongdoing by Gautam Adani? Has he got the contract in Rajasthan, in Telangana, in Andhra Pradesh, in Telangana, in Chhattisgarh, where the Congress ruled states were there, which had indulged into some kind of contract with that business with the Gautam Adani?
So he may have been a saint earlier, but he's not a saint now.
Not about saint. Everybody in the eyes of law is saint till proven guilty. That's an Indian jurisprudence. Let's not put our India. I'm not saying, for God's sake, I'm not saying Gautam Adani is guilty. No. I'm only saying is the issue is extremely serious, and let's not beat around the bush.
Yes.
The American institutions are far more robust, far more honest, far more neutral than what we witness in a third world country.
Are you saying Indian courts,
this.
Indian judiciary, Indian polity, nothing in comparison to what we see in America, sir?
I'm not saying that. I'm only saying it. American institutions are very, very powerful. They have shown spines towards the most powerful person in American history.
Okay.
The Donald Trump, when the Donald Trump was the president, American institution stood like a rock, did not budge, did not listen to him. Many hundreds of people resigned. Institutions have fought their back. Unlike in India, we are witnessing every institution in this country is either not showing a spine or surrendering to the whims and fancies of the executive.
Okay.
So let's not be in any confusion.
No.
My point is, Rahul Gandhi, what Rahul Gandhi is saying, I have never heard that Rahul Gandhi is saying Mr. Gautam Adani is a criminal. What he's saying is, and that's up to the Congress party to respond, what he's saying, what I heard is that there is a case and it has to be investigated. Why government of India is not investigating? If the 5 states are not investigating, not lodging an FIR, is it not incumbent on the government of India led by Narendra Modi to lodge an FIR, time-bound FIR, time-bound investigation, and let a fast code be there, and within 6 months' time,
but that was
that
was my political question. But that was my political question, right? You look at Mahua Mitra, the Trinamool Congress MP who got suspended as well from Parliament, right, and then came back after Lok Sabha victory. She was the one who was raising this whole diatribe against Gautam Adani. But when day before yesterday, when Rahul Gandhi was leading this protest, which was a party which did not participate in that protest, there was Trinamool Congress and the Samajwadi Party. So I'm saying it appears to me that there is some obsession now that Rahul Gandhi has got. Congress has lost elections because Mr. Gandhi has attempted to convert Gautam Adani into an electoral talking point. In your understanding, has Gautam Adani really been an electoral talking point?
I firmly believe that it's a great story for Indian journalists to do. But my worry is I'm disturbed because Indian journalism has failed, is not trying to bring this case to the logical conclusion as was done when the Bofors was there, as was done when the 2G was there, as was done when the CWG was there. What is the journalist's job? Journalist's job is to get a lead. If they get a lead anywhere, pursue that case, investigate that matter, dig out new facts. But what is happening is the Indian journalism is almost dying, and their more interest is to tell to the whole world that how stupid Rahul Gandhi is. I've asked a question to myself, and I've been in journalism for a pretty long time. And I know which story is a great story, which story is not a great story, which story has to be pursued, which is not to be pursued. And I firmly believe this is a big story, but Indian media has failed miserably. Rather, they are trying to defend Adani and
my mind, sir,
trying to defend the government.
Story. I'm in absolute agreement with you that it's a great story, I think, of our times to tell, where the leader of the principal opposition party, election after election, is raising the same bogey, not getting the electoral results, but still sticking to it. To my mind, it's a great story to tell. That Rahul
I think this country, this country has suffered. This country has suffered a lot because the prime motive of the political parties and the leader and those who are occupying the high constitutional post is to contest election and to win elections. There are certain issues which has to be raised. That's what Mahatma Gandhi has said. Even if you are convinced about what you are saying, even if you're alone, you have to raise your voice. You have to fight for that. I'm not complimenting Rahul Gandhi per se. What I'm saying is leave Indian media free for 15 days. Let them raise questions day in and day out as we raised when Manmohan Singh government was there. And then after 15 days, you will see the change, the ecosystem changing. You will see the people's reaction will be changing. And this government and the Adani issue will become a big issue. But nothing is happening of that kind as happened when the Bofors was here, because on a day in and day out, Indian Express, Times of India, Hindu, Chitta Subramaniam, NRAM, they are digging out the stories and putting the government on the dock. I'm not saying that the Rahul Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi was guilty, or that Gautam Adani is guilty, or Narendra Modi is guilty. I'm only saying is we have to look it within and we have to ask questions whether we journalists are doing justice to the story. No. Whether the politicians are doing justice to the story? No. Whether the government is doing justice to the story? No. Why they are not going for an honest investigation? That's my limited point.
Okay.
There are serious allegation. The crime has supposed to be happen on the Indian soil, but nobody is doing anything. That means there is something wrong, something seriously wrong, and it is this which really is the sad affairs today.
Well, conversely, again, as I've repeatedly been arguing, if the same question is raised election after election over a period of time and the result remains the same, and the same person's party continues to remain in business with the same so-called tainted entity, then question must be raised about the political strategy as well. But thanks very much, Ashutosh. You've given me an idea today that maybe you and I should do Lens on India once every 15 days. Because surely what you think of legacy media, I mean, these are your views, and I may support some of those views. I think there has to be a way ahead. There has to be a step forward. Hopefully, we can do that together. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.